What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another mixing video. Today, pretty much no real concept. I'm just going to go in, talk about how I mixed this song. It's a dope song. It's my friend Cal Scrubby. The song is called Anxiety. I mixed it a while ago, but still kind of the same thing. A couple different things in my template that I'll talk about. And then also on top of that, I asked on Instagram some questions you guys had about mixing. Some of them weren't really for a whole video to me. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about this mix, some stuff that I did, and then I'm going to answer some of these questions. And one thing about asking questions is you want to ask the right strong questions. A lot of the information can be found online, but there are like little tricks and stuff like that that I have that I will elaborate on. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into it. I'll play you a little snippet of it so you can hear what it's sounding like. We got the beat stems. As you can see, not much going on with the beat stems. Also, I don't have them sending to a beat bus, which is another thing that I typically do. But like I said, this song is kind of older, and I grow and evolve every day as an engineer and a producer. So you live and you learn. Okay, but yeah, we got the beat stems in here. Mainly leveling stuff, EQs. Beats not too crazy. Just mostly drums and a couple instruments. I think we got one main pad here. But cool. We have our vocal tracks down here. Not really properly color coded, but that's okay. But yeah, so up here is the lead vocals. All of them are getting sent to this bus right here. R compressor, REQ, CLA2A, REQ, SSL channel, the works. This is a pretty specific mix. This is not my chain. I'll go ahead and even just do like another mix really quick with plugins that I'm using now. I'll just duplicate this chain, probably keep the R comp because I use that a lot, and then play with the sound of the dynamic vocal. I really do like how this song sounds, so I'll play it for you.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and emotions are fighting inside of me. I gotta get the shit out of me. I feel like force, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something 90% done and quit on it, you should just hire me. I'm feeling closer to death. I feel a hole in my
Great. There you go. So yeah, I have Decapitator actually on the main bus, which kind of gives it a little gritty sound. It's a kind of like a darker song, so I felt like this worked out really well. I really like how the low cut sounds on the Decapitator. I don't know if it does anything special. I don't know if it's like adding a little boost to the end of the cut, but I like it a lot. Typically don't really do this. The last time I actually did this was the Lil Skies and Lil Xan song, Lies. Great song. But yeah. So let's take a look at the plugin, see what we got, and then I'll go ahead and make another chain from scratch. And I haven't rehearsed this either, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. And then we will go over the mastering, then I'll answer some questions. We'll call it a day. Fantastic. Here we go.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and
right out the gate, I don't like the level that those are coming in. They're coming in a little hot, but fortunately, we're playing with distortion in this mix, so it works. If I were to do this over, I probably would adjust the gain of the actual audio. And then we're going into an EQ, classic high shelf, mid-range dip, and a low cut. CLA2A, I'm kind of scared to see what this looks like. Here we go.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a
nice, clean, smooth. More EQing. Look at me go. Wow. I was really on one that day. SSL channel.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and emotions are fighting inside of me. I got
nice. I'm actually kind of happy I'm showing you this mix because this is not very traditional of how I go about things. I'm making bigger EQ boosts. I'm boosting a lot more than I normally do, but it works and it sounds good. So let's rock with it. I'm sure like the C4 is me trying to make up for a lot of those boosts. And that's exactly what it is.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much squashing every frequency here. Nice. And Decapitator, showed you that already. And then the Slate stuff, which I love. Love this distressor plugin. I've been using it all the time. Probably going to use it when I remake the chain. And just some big old fat EQ boost. I was just wild that day.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my
The S is clean, though. Right on the S's. Perfect. All right, let's go and remake this chain real quick. just duplicating the whole thing. I will make a new bus for it. Oh, crap. All right. Had coffee today. A little jittery. New chain. All right. And we will send these to the new chain. Bam. Shift option when you have tracks highlighted. If you hold shift option, click, it will change the output of all those tracks. Okay. So let's take it from the top here. I'm just going to rock with the level of the audio.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and emotions are fighting inside of me. I gotta get the shit out of me. I feel like Forrest, I'm running from everything. I never saw this.
Alright, I'm actually just gonna put trim plugins on here. I really like the audio to come into the first compressor at like -6 to -8. More headroom the better for me.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got. Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like.
Cool. I'm gonna rock with that. And if you're mixing it early, granted, I already have mastering on here. I have the beats like already leveled and mixed. So this is not the most traditional way to go about it. But don't be afraid to crank up the level of the bus while you're mixing it, knowing that you're gonna bring it down later. So I'm gonna go ahead and.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and emotions are fighting inside of me. I gotta get the shit out of me. I feel like Forrest, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something 90% done and quit.
Cool. It did that strictly with my ears. Okay. And I will reset this right here. How do you reset? Oh, this is it. Full reset. I turn this off because it makes noise. I forget why I do that. All right. Man, I also forget why I do that, but there's a reason for it. Okay. Slight EQing here.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and emotions are fighting inside of me. I gotta get the shit out of me. I feel like Forrest, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something 90% done and quit on it, you should just hire me.
Cool. I'm going to rock with that for now. I like how it sounds. Cal actually has a really nice recording setup. I think he goes into a distressor, so that's cool. And I'm going to put a Q3 on here. This is mainly where I attack frequencies that I don't like, but there's really nothing jumping out right now, so I'm not just going to go in there and start searching for bad frequencies. No need for that. All right, and then this right here. First thing I do is I put in this channel thing. Emulates a board, I assume. Crank it up to hear what the distortion sounds like.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and emotions are fighting inside of me. I gotta get the shit out.
The good US of A coming through.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind.
Great. We're gonna put on this distressor. Most likely it's gonna add some volume, but we're gonna finesse it here.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and emotions are fighting inside of me. I gotta get the shit out of me. I feel like Forrest, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something 90% done and quit on it, you should just hire me. I'm feeling closer to death. I feel a hole in my chest. Feel like I'm stuck underwater. Feel like I'm holding my breath. Like it's the only one left. Nobody know I'm depressed.
Wow, what a great sounding reverb. I really killed that reverb. And then I'm going to keep the de-esser the exact same.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like.
All right, but to be honest, I don't use RDSer. It's too much for me. So I mainly use. I am like slouching. Okay, I mainly use this guy right here.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and emotions are fighting inside of me. I gotta get the shit out of me. I feel like Forrest, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something.
Cool. Now I'm gonna play with the Q3, see if we can add some air.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and emotions are fighting inside of me. I gotta get the shit out of me. I feel like Forrest, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something.
So if you listen, this is a dynamic EQ, which means it attacks frequencies as they happen. So a lot of times, if you don't want to just cut a vocal, you just want to tame it. Dynamic EQ is a really good way to go. Be safe with it. Don't be too dramatic with it because you can get a lot of pumping. It is a compressor pretty much. So yeah, you can hear what this middle band does. I'll turn it off and on. Here's on.
Hard to describe my anxiety.
Off.
Hard to describe my anxiety. Hard to describe my anxiety. Feel like my heart and my mind got a rivalry. Feel like my thoughts and emotions are fighting inside of me. I gotta get.
I mean, the instruments, like it really makes it fall into the mix. I like how that sounds a lot. I'm gonna go in and A/B these two. In Pro Tools, if you hold, you click 2 tracks with one, like the M, like clicked in. Shift M goes back and forth between them. And I just realized that I cannot do this because I don't have it routed. Okay, how am I going to do that? Here's what I'll do. I'll make 2 tracks, and they will just run into each other. I'll put that there, and then I'll put this to V leads. Unmute that.
Get the shit out of me. I feel like for us, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something 90% done and quit on it, you should just get the shit out of me. I feel like for.
So the pink one is the new mix, and then it's going to go into the blue one, which is the old mix.
Get the shit out of me. I feel like for us, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something.
Both sound pretty good. Yeah, and we were able to knock that one out pretty quick with just a handful of plugins. So that's tight. Great. And then the mastering, I probably went a little OD. I also route everything to a mix bus now. But let's pull these guys up. Oh, yeah. This was my T-Rax days when I was loving T-Rax. EQ, just a little high shelf. Also bringing down the input by 4 dB. And then I'm compressing it with the Slate compressor, which is really nice. Going into an EQ, like a Puig Tech EQ, and then the limiter.
Get the shit out of me. I feel like for us, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone.
This is not even going to the mastering. I lied. Who? Oh God, who knows what's gonna sound like now? Ugh.
Get the shit out of me. I feel like for us, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something 90%.
Great, that's good mastering. Now, what I normally do, I got rid of these. I'll still use that. The FG, man, yeah, this guy. I turn off the compressor and just get the volume.
Get the shit out of me. I feel like for us, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety.
And then I'll pull down this right here.
Get the shit out of me. I feel like for us, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something 90%.
Cool, and then what I'll also do is use a meter to kind of see the level. I should be using LUFS, but I'm using RMS.
Get the shit out of me. I feel like for us, I'm running from everything. I never saw this shit in its.
Great, right around 8, 9 is where I try to keep it, and that's where it's hitting. So boom, great. Hopefully I dropped some gems for you in there. One thing I wanted you to see really is one, you don't need a lot of plugins to make stuff sound good, and more just like listen and just feel what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to take a drink of water. I had coffee. I'm zipping. Okay, so now I'll go into your questions from Instagram. Best way to utilize a home studio setup. I actually wrote these on a piece of paper with a pen. I haven't done that in a long time. And holy moly, it looks like a first grader. I couldn't keep the letters like aligned. It was like up, a little high, a little low. Yikes. Okay, a nice friendly motorcycle man is outside. Best way to utilize home studio setup. Get a decent mic. Honestly, a good computer is the #1 investment for me because it's going to be your biggest investment in the software. But don't even get too caught up in getting the plugins. Best way to utilize it is practice, foam. What's cool about big bedrooms, you have a big bed in there, closet with clothes, all that kind of stuff. It's really not it's probably better than recording in this room because this room has a really fucking high ceiling. So I had to get a fucking big ass booth that's heavy and dangerous. I don't think it's dangerous, but it was scary putting it together, holding up like 200-pound walls. All right, basics for artist engineers. I'm just going to throw artists, engineers, producers into a collection of people that make art. And in that regard, it is your job and your duty to make something unique and specific. Be a true artist. Don't make stuff that is what you think people are gonna like. Make stuff that you really enjoy. I don't know if that's what you meant by basics. You might have meant like, what kind of microphone should you buy? But it really is about being an artist. Even when you're an engineer, and a good artistic engineer is someone that can recognize the artistic direction that the artist was going and can enhance. Mixing multiple songs to be cohesive. For me, that's using the metering plugin and just making sure all my the output of everything is hitting at the same RMS. Favorite plugin where I use them, probably the Slate Distressor plugin and SSL channel. I just love the SSL channel because I know it so well. I love the low shelf. I think it adds a great amount of air to a vocal. Look at me holding a pen. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Lil Sky's vocal mix tutorial. Don't like this question because I mix every song different. So for me to say like this is how you sound like Lil Skies is a little hypocritical. I actually watch videos of people how to get your vocals to sound like Lil Skies, and I think it's really funny. How to make your vocals sound professional. Didn't like this question either. Professional is not really a sound, and to me, professional kind of equals boring. Every song is different, so to say all songs sound professional is not necessarily true. There are a lot of professional songs that the mix may not be that fulfilling. I'm not going to say not good because it is subjective, but everything you do is subjective. The only sense of being professional is being as loud. And you don't have to be like smacking it. Just so when people go song to song, it's not like, oh, this is clearly not mastered. That's the biggest thing that the average consumer picks up on is volume. So if your volume's there, you're like 80%. People are going to think you're legit. Reverb and dialing it in. Okay, this is actually a new trick that I learned. I really don't want to mess with this reverb because I love it. So I put on a new reverb. I'll get Valhalla. And one thing, so there's plugins like Hverb that will sync the pre-delay to the beat. Totally cool. Yay. I use this like LX preset. Yeah, this guy. Medium Hall, I think. Who knows? We're going to rock with it. All right, but here's a trick that I made up on my own. I didn't learn this anywhere. I kind of just thought about it, and I think it works pretty well. So what I do is I jack up the reverb. Let's go ahead and put this back with its brother right there. All right, I will jack up the reverb and turn the decay time to like 0.1, really far down, to a point where it's just a quick echo. And then what I do with the pre-delay is just adjust it until it feels good with the timing and the flow of the song. That's one thing I don't like about syncing the reverbs is it's like the perfect BPM level. So, like I kind of like a little swag to the pre-delay. So let's try to swag it out here.
I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something 90% done and quit on it, you should just hire me. I'm feeling closer to death. I feel a hole in my chest. Feel like I'm stuck underwater. Feel like I'm holding my breath. Like it's the only one left. Nobody know I'm depressed. Even the people that know me the best. I call my mama, she told me to rest. I only get out of bed to get more cigarettes. Yeah. I've been so close I could taste it. I've been so far, I've been patient. I take a bar and get wasted. Part of my brain is erased when I go to Mars in a spaceship. It's written all on my face and no one relates. I don't know how long I can take it. You wanna smile, I'ma fake it. Copy and paste it, that's an alright imitation, yeah.
Cool, now let's dial it back.
I never saw this shit in its entirety. If you need someone to get something 90% done and quit on it, you should just hire me. I'm feeling closer to death. I feel a hole in my chest. Feel like I'm stuck underwater. Feel like I'm holding my breath. Like it's the only one left. Nobody know.
Beautiful. And there it is. That's how I do it. So with the decay time, that's just a feel thing. As you bring it up, you kind of just want to make it so it's ending with the bars. This is a pretty short one. This is probably longer. That's at like 2. But yeah, that's kind of how I've been dialing in my reverbs. I like it. Melodyne, Autotune, and Autotune EFX. Melodyne for me is when it's singing and the note's just not there and it doesn't sound good with the Autotune and you have to go in and fix it. There are people who are specifically Melodyne engineers that are extremely good with it and can make anybody sound like a superstar. And then Autotune, Pro, EFX, they all have their own sound. They get the job done. A lot of the times I'll ask the artist what they normally use. A lot of like hip hop is EFX, and more singing stuff can be more like Autotune Pro. But at the end of the day, it's whatever you want to use. Mastering, I went through my chain already, the Slate and the L2 pretty much. Bad vocal recording, how to fix a bad vocal recording. Re-record it would be my number one. If you can't do that, just got to work with it. I mean, if you're talking like it's distorting and whatnot, you might just have to take the route of going with Decapitator and having the distortion kind of be part of the mix. But yeah, there's really no perfect thing to do to fix a bad vocal recording. But great. Thank you all so much. Kind of did this on the fly. I hope you learned something, and I will see you all very soon. Enjoy your week and work hard. Later.